Hi, Achim here, InnerSpace Explorers. I have something special for you today. I'm in Belgrade at the moment, in Serbia, and I want to introduce you to something new. So this will be a couple of videos in a row, but I'm at VADA at the moment, and if you've been to Boat Show last year in Germany, you probably saw the booth, and we have the honor to be invited to the headquarters, and I'll just give you a brief tour before we start talking a little bit to the owner and the master brain behind the rebreather. So let's have a little tour through this amazing place. Just follow me along. And this is basically what this video will be all about. It's the VADA NYX new rebreather, an absolute beauty. And we will learn a little bit more about the rebreather in a couple of minutes. But before I show you more and before we talk a little bit more about the details of the machine, I would like to introduce you to the man behind the rebreather, the master brain. Wieland.
Hello guys.
All right, Wieland, tell us a little bit about your background, how you came up with the idea for the rebreather, the evolution, where you started, and how you got to the finished product that we see today.
Yeah, sure. So everything starts in, let's say, 1992 to 1993 when I start diving. And that was my really big passion, even when I was a child. You know, I was thinking about becoming the scuba diver, and I was waiting to have 16 years in order to apply for a scuba diving course. And yeah, everything starts. I was always fascinated with the cave diving and technical equipment and everything. And also in the same time, my profession is industrial design, so I started designing this stuff. And in one moment, I decided to combine my job and with my biggest passion, which is scuba diving, and to start designing and making the scuba equipment. So I started from the lights, which I start using for my cave dives, and after that, I switched to rebreathers. First passive semi-closed circuits and then to manual CCRs. So in one moment you just figure out that you need some new kind of equipment, that you want to develop it for your personal needs. And then, because I was in industry working on a lot of different products, because my company Fishbone is actually doing all kinds of industrial design, but with a special focus on marine design and diving equipment, I started working on those.
You can probably afterwards show us a couple of examples of your work, like the lights and the first rebreather, which I've already seen, which I found pretty cool, very interesting. So you're a diver yourself, you're a rebreather diver, you're a cave diver, you do a lot of exploration yourself, which for me was important because it was not just a company that hired somebody that wanted to come up with a product, but it's a product that was made by a real diver and explorer, which in my opinion is a huge benefit to the product itself. So we met each other at Boat. I was just walking by the booth and I was like, wow, because it was just it was such a beautiful product, and as I'm a little bit of a design freak, we talked a lot last evening and figured out we have quite a few things in common. So we started talking, and I think the first thing I asked you was like, are you a designer? Because it's a piece of art basically. Yeah. So I would say we go over to the rebreather and you give us a little bit of a tour about its unique features, about the things that you came up with, what is the difference to rebreathers that are on the market at the moment, and then you guys will see what I'm talking about.
Okay, so actually I started diving rebreathers with passive semi-closed rebreathers. I dived the heavily modified Satori in the beginning, but in that moment as well, I modified everything, make it to work better, and of course made a frame for it. Always spent many hours on that machine, and then in one moment decided to move to the manual CCR. So it is where the armor fish. It's made.
It's already a beauty, huh? I mean,
armor fish was the SF2 type of rebreather with the bellows in the back. But in one moment we stopped the project and I started working on the completely new unit, which will be specially made with the cave divers and the wreck divers in mind. So what I had in mind in that time is to make like a completely armored machine, which with really low profile and completely armored without any cables or hoses, sticking out of their rebreather head. So actually, with the armor fish, you can continue hitting the ceiling without any danger that something will be bad. Also, we put all the stuff on the paper which we wished, or which I wished to be modified. So first, I wish to keep like a big amount of scrubber material, which is 3.6 kilos, and then to have low profile machine. So in order to achieve that, the specially designed, let's say, we call it unwrapped radial scrubber. And actually what we did, we took the standard radial canister, cut it in half and just unwrapped
like a butterfly,
like a butterfly. So actually it works on similar principle, but is much lower profile. And now I don't have, let me see. Can I have the scrubber, the radial scrubber, please? Now I'll show you. This canister, my colleague will bring. It's a 2.5 kilos, and look at the profile. And this one has almost 3.7, actually 3.67 kilos. And the interesting things there is that we have two meshes inside the scrubber. The gas is entering the first mesh through the scrubber material and then entering the second mesh, and inside this empty space which is located between the second mesh and the back, flowing up, and from this hole connects to the rebreather head. The pusher is spring loaded, and actually the system of backing the filter is similar like in radial, but you need to pay a little more attention when tapping because it's not completely radial. When everything is packed well, it's working great. So the whole rebreather body is carbon fiber, like 100% carbon fiber, and which is pretty good from two reasons. First, you can have like any shape you want, and we wanted really low profile unit, and also there is no changing in the size, in tolerances when it's cold or hot. So it works pretty well, and also what is important that there is no electrocorrosion at all. So pretty neat stuff. I think it's better to show it here. All the connectors are bayonet connectors. And we have DSV, which is could be handled just with one hand, open and close, pretty smooth. And we have chin rest, which is great for scootering, as well for overall comfort on like a long decompression stops. Also, what need to be mentioned is manual ignition valve, which is could be operated just with one hand, and there is no confusion between oxygen, which is placed on the top, and diluent gas or outboard gas, which are from the side. And of course, here any outboard gas could be plugged. Also, the external oxygen as well.
Yeah. So you have generally you have a 2-tank configuration, but you can extend it by 2 additional tanks.
Sure. Like a 2-tank version is like a standard version, and also those 2 could be attached. In that case, we're using this one for dry suit inflation, and this one is a spare oxygen, which is not constant IP like on the.
So if you go deeper, you could just manually inject and override the IP.
IP is 16 bar, which means it's good for 150 or less. And if you're planning to dive deeper than 150 meters, you can run it completely manually from this tank.
From the second one, Awesome.
So, what else? The backplate of the rebreather is also a rebreather stand.
Yeah, it actually stands very, very solid. I mean,
it's pretty solid because it stays in 3 points, which I think it's pretty important.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the hoses, the diameter, the material, the diluent ADV?
Yeah. Hoses are custom made, especially for our machine, and from medical grade silicone, and the diameter is like a 40 millimeters inside diameter. So the breathing resistance it's really good because of scrubber and all the channels inside the head, as well the breathing hoses.
So there's a constant. The 40 millimeter diameter is a constant throughout the rebreather.
It's a constant. Yes. Everywhere, but in the mouthpiece, because the mouthpiece has. About ADV, let's disconnect those two. And I'll show you first the Bionet systems for connecting the ADV to the lungs. You have 2 O-rings everywhere here, and as well inside here. And inside is a special polyurethane coated fabric, which is used for safety vests, which is stronger than what is usually used for inner bladders, counter bladders. ADV has Apex XL4 system inside.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Once when lung is connected, we just connect the hose here.
Then it can also not go unplug itself because of the position. Yeah,
you need to move it almost 120 degrees in opposite way,
which is not possible.
Which is not possible, especially when the machine is on your back.
So this one has back-mounted counterlungs, as we can see, which is great. If I understood you correct, you would also have the opportunity to offer over-the-shoulder counterlungs if somebody wants that, right?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah.
I could show you the front-mounted counterlungs.
Well, for me,
no.
but I mean, they are available.
Yeah, they're available, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything for a customer.
Yeah. So yeah, I can just repeat myself. I think it's a stunningly beautiful unit. I'm totally in love, and I can't wait to get in the water with it. So, Milan, thank you very much for the introduction of the rebreather and for allowing us to film here and show all of this. And for you guys, the next thing you will see is the rebreather in the water, which probably in about 2 weeks. So stay tuned. If you have questions in the meantime, just put them in the comment section. If you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video in the water with the NYX on Mallorca.
So we have hose router here, and the hoses are really easy to attach there, and to entry regulator on the back. Also, it's really easy to remove it. And when you put the back plate on it, it started. I think that's it. Yeah. So, a few things about the manufacturing process. We actually made the shells, the front and back shell, and inside the shell. They're made by vacuum forming, actually infusion, polyester infusion, and then cut and put together like this. And the central part is going inside, and after that's finished, we put the epoxy with the filler inside, which makes like a completely solid, almost indestructible construction. And then this is grounded, and those steps are mounted there. Also, the tank connectors are on the forged carbon wings, which are almost indestructible. We put the epoxy resin and forged carbon inside the mold and press it and heat it, and you can land a plane on it. It's almost indestructible.
This is normal canister, this is for heating, this is canister for heating, and there is side mounted, there is smaller.
They finished the heads, so now we can pack them.
Have you ever taken one of these, like instead of the Alban tank, or on the?
I didn't. I put it on my belt.
Yeah, I prefer that as well. But again, something that people will ask.
Yeah, they already asked. And they ask, is it possible to make like a bigger heating canister like this in the size of like a 40 ampere hours or even more.
Especially in the old days, because the center was there.